Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with a deck profile and also a tournament report for my Yosenjus. Actually took this yesterday to my local Win-A-Box tournament and got first place with it. Made a few updates from the last profile, so I figured I'd show you guys a new build. My matchups, round 1 I went 2-0 against Masked Heroes. Round 2 went 2-0 against Spellbooks. Round 3 went 2-0 against Spiritual Beast. First game was kind of interesting because he went first and could really only put one monster on board with no other back row. And then I had a hand of 4 different Yosenju monsters, so I summoned my 4 Yosenjus, bounced his guy back with combo 1, boosted Sujik up, so I had 7,200 battle damage, and then was able to go Cowboy for the FTK there. Then game 2, what really won that was Karen Gorgon plus Imperial Iron Wall, because he couldn't get over that, and literally the next turn after I made Karen Gorgon, he drew MST, which was kind of funny. So yeah, that was pretty interesting matchup there. And then final round went 2-1 against Cleveforts. Lost game 1. I was actually in a pretty good position with Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Had him on a 2-turn clock. And he really didn't have much to get over it, but he did duality into the massive removal card that he needed, which was Mirror Force, so had to kind of play around that, and he was eventually able to get the win. Then rounds 2 and 3, I was able to lock him down for the win with the combination of Karen Gorgon plus Master Restrict, which was really, really good, so I'll get more into that once we get into the profile. So starting off the monsters, it's all the same from the last deck profile. We have the 3,1, 3,2, and 3,3. And then we still have the 2 Sujik and the 3 Yosenju Shinchu L. I definitely think 3 Shinchu L was the right call, especially with no MST in the main. Just because seeing this as early as possible was really good. There's a lot of times where I used this to protect my Yosenjus from destruction. I summoned it as a monster a couple times to protect them from targeting as well, which did come up a few times. But biggest thing was just making sure I had my counter trap live on the opponent's turn. So definitely a free Shinchu L I think was the right call. So now on the spells. Starting off, we of course have the triple Fire Formation Tenki and triple Pod Duality. Something that did change from the last list is I added in 3 Upstart Goblins. Basically, I just wanted to make my deck a little more consistent because my thought behind this was that the free Duality, the free Tenki, and the free Comma free wasn't quite enough to really get to all the cards that I wanted to see. So with Upstart Goblin, whether you're drawing into another monster, you're drawing into a Floodgate, or you're drawing into a Chainable Back Row, you're usually drawing into a good card. And with all the spam ability you have with this deck, the 1,000 life you're giving to your opponent isn't that big of a deal. I could definitely say that Upstart Goblin was the right choice for this event because it made the deck a lot more consistent, and it made it to where I was able to see my set deck cards a lot more. So definitely happy with that choice. Then for one of spells, we have the 1-Dimensional Fissure and 1 Regeki. I unfortunately had to cut Book of Moon and Dark Hole to fit room for the upstarts. Book of Moon wasn't really that big of a deal because honestly I don't really like the card that much right now. Dark Hole was hard to cut because it's basically another Regeki in this deck, but when you look at all the other master removal I have with this deck and just spot removal, I do think it was the right choice, especially to make room for the upstarts. So now on to the traps. Starting off, we have the triple Yosenju Secret Move. I definitely was glad that I was playing this variant today for the tournament, the Secret Move stun-based variant. This card is just so good. Whether you're searching this to make sure you're protecting your plays for next turn, you're searching this to stun your opponent's plays on their turn, or you're just searching this, not even using it, but just putting pressure on your opponent, the card is just so good. I mean, it's not nearly as good as Alpha when you look at it at face value and other counter traps because it's a bit more conditional, but just the fact that it's searchable is really what makes it so good. Then we had the 2 Fiendish Chain and 2 lose 1 turn for effect negation. Again, just didn't want to clog up my back row too much with continuous spells and traps, so that's why I went with the 2-2 ratio there. I definitely think it was enough. Then we have the 2 Mirror Force, because of course I leave my board wide open a lot of times, and it just combos off so well with Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos. Then for one of those, we have the 1 Bottomless, 1 Compulse. Actually used this a couple times defensively at the tournament, where basically I just used it to dodge my Yosenju monsters away from effect negation. So Compulse I think was definitely really good. The 1 Macrocosmos, Solemn Warning, Torrential Tribute, and finally the 1 Vanity's Emptiness. The other card I had to take out for the free Upstart Goblin was Rain of Destruction. Don't get me wrong, Rain Destruction is definitely a really good card, but when you look at the way this deck plays and the fact that you really don't keep monsters on board for your opponent's turn that often, you really don't want to lose too much life points between having both Solemn Warning and Rain Destruction in your main deck. So that personally is why I was able to feel pretty good about cutting the Rain Destruction, and honestly, I didn't really miss it throughout the day. So that was it for the main deck. Total of 40 cards, 14 monsters, 11 spells, and 15 traps. Now on to the extra deck. So starting off, we of course had Lightning Chidori, usually the MVP of the extra deck on most days when I play this deck, but didn't really come up that often. Abyss Dweller, Tiger King, went into this once just to search for Tenki and get more advantage, so it was good for that. The MVP of the day, though, was definitely Karen Gorgon, as I talked about earlier. Just being able to protect your floodgates that can just absolutely shut down matchups. Like, as I said, being able to protect Imperial Iron Wall against Spiritual Beast, they really can't do anything if they can't find a way to get rid of it outside of a single targeting effect. Being able to protect Mask and Restrict against Cleave Force is so good. So definitely was glad I played Karen Gorgon because it won me so many games. Then we have Castel, Dark Rebellion, Extraton Knight, the 2 Gaga Cowboy. The double Cowboy OTK never came up, but as I said, against Spiritual Beast, I did have to use the 1 for the FTK, so still definitely would keep in the 2 Cowboy, because that situation does pop up a good bit. Harpy Spec Phantasmal Dragon. The card was definitely good. Again, you just can't really do anything whenever somebody pod dualities into exactly the right card they need, but definitely put a lot of pressure on the Cleave Force player game 1, and I definitely would have won that game 1 if he hadn't drawn into that Mirror Force. 101, 103. Something I added and actually bought that day was the number 52 Diamond Crab King. I just wanted to make sure that I had a pretty easy answer to towers in case Cleave Forts were there. It never really came up because I don't even think the guy was playing towers in his deck, but definitely still glad I got it because I think this will probably be a staple in most of my rank 4s just because I hate towers. And then, of course, we had the combo of Ptolemaeus and Diamond for Brilliant Abyss and Shadal's. So now to wrap it up with the side deck. So starting off, we of course have the 2 Flying Sea. Didn't see any Brilliant Abyss, Tellers. There was a Yosenju mirror there that day, but I didn't get to face him, so definitely would have came up there. The triple MST on the side. Really didn't even regret having this in the side throughout the whole day. The only time I would have liked MST in the main for game 1 was against the Cleave Force player, but that was just because he drew exactly the right card, which was Mirror Force. But I just have so much, so many cards that can help me answer back row as it is. Of course, Secret Move being searchable, so I definitely think MST for consistency's sake was the right choice on the side. Then the triple Imperial Iron Wall. Definitely glad I had 3 of these just to make sure I saw it. And as I said, it really did help me win my Spiritual Beast matchup. The triple Mind Crush, of course, if I would have seen it against Cleave Force, it would have helped a little bit, but didn't really get the chance to see it. But definitely the MVP of the side deck, especially against Cleave Force, was the 2 Mask and Restrict. This card absolutely shuts them down more than any other card that you would think of in the side. It really shuts them down more than like Thunder King Ryo, shuts them down more than like Anti-Spell Fragrance, things like that. I mean, Anti-Spell Fragrance is still really good for the fact that they can't put their pendulums on board, but basically the whole purpose of the deck is the spam pendulum summons and then tribute off for your tribute summons and get the tribute summon effects and the tribute effects of the monsters you tributed. So Vascular Restrictions completely shuts them down, and the only thing they're really able to do with this on board is just spam a bunch of pendulums, which are typically going to be 1800 unless they have like skill drain on board. So Vascular Restrict is just really good for completely shutting them down, and definitely did on that day. Then we have the 1 Chaos Trap Hole and 1 Soul Drain to round out the side deck. So that is it for my deck profile / tournament report on Yosenju's. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I definitely want to know what you guys think in the comment section below about this updated build. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.